to the Redwood product. At our factory in Goshen, we import tires and wheels, different containers. We mount about 4,000 to 5,000 tires and wheels a day. And then we ship a mounted tire and wheel to the factories ready to go on that axle. I really don't have a big presentation for you guys. It's going to be more of a Q&A session. I would just probably talk a little bit about trailer tires in general. That tire that's on the side of that coach has a max load at a certain PSI. And trailer tires, unlike your car or truck, they need to be inflated to that max pressure. That is where the load capacity for that unit comes from. Is if your tire says max load 4,080 pounds at 110 psi, we need to run that at 110 psi, and it will say cold on it. Okay, which means if you check that in the morning at the ambient air temperature, that's when it should be 110 psi. You shouldn't be running it at 110 psi when after you've run 100 miles in the middle of Arizona, because that tire will actually go up in pressure. So I want to see it at that max pressure before you take that coach out. That is how trailer tires are designed, and that's really where you're going to get the load capacity. They're really, like I say, there isn't a whole lot to say about my product. We always say it's black and round, but it's really, the important part is it's the point between you and that road. So you really have to take care of those tires, keep them inflated, and that's really what's important. So I'll just open it up.
So you say that like on the load range, it's approximately 4,000 pounds at 110.
Right. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. But so if you're running 3,200 pounds of load on that tire, then you still want it at 110.
I'm fine with it if you know your unit well enough to know what that tire needs. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so like we're doing the smart way, which gives you each wheel position, so you have the ability then to adjust here.
Yes, there actually is in the Tire and Rim Association guidelines, there is a chart that will show you that specific tire at 110 psi is X, whatever that is. And at 105 psi, it's X minus something. And it will continue to go down. So I am fine with that. It really is, you know,
you have to know where you're
exactly.
Well, any reason to not run it at 110 then?
No, I don't see any reason to not run it at 110. Unless you're getting a really rough ride or something. But no, I would say there's no reason not to.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's your position on balancing? Do you guys balance them?
We do not balance them. Our position is trailer tires really and wheels are not designed to be but that's kind of a personal preference, but I've heard people that swear by it. We do not, there is no OEM that asks us to balance trailer tires. And that's just, like I say, now in the aftermarket, in the real world, maybe you should be able to balance that tire without a problem. And it probably can do you some good, but in our opinion, there's no reason to necessarily. Yes, sir.
Bob, I had to go get a Goodyear tire to replace the tire that I had to go out.
Okay.
While I was down there, there's another tire that has a Durasil product inside the tire. It's a tire liner, so that when you get a flat tire, that Durasil will take over, and it'll fill up to a 1/4-inch hole, and you don't even know you have a tire. It'll keep it full. Have you considered using a tire similar to that, or have you talked to Goodyear about using that Durasil product inside the tire?
We have not, Greg. I'm not that familiar with it.
I just ran into it this weekend.
I can tell you that all tire manufacturers, if you put anything in the tire, technically it voids
this is directly from Goodyear, and it's a product that's manufactured inside the tire at the time of product, at the time of production.
That's one that I haven't heard.
I have not heard.
They're using them on the very large trucks, like a trash truck and things like that. They actually have a video where they run over a board with 16 nails into it, and they do a comparison between a fire cone and something else. And they show how quickly the other two tires deflate. And this one guy runs over with 16 nails into it and never goes flat. It fills up to a 1/4 inch size hole in the tire. So that way you wouldn't blow out and tear up the bottom side of your RV in the case of a flat.
Was this a 17.5?
I don't know that fact. I just saw the video on it, and I didn't have the dealership. I didn't have time to ask you about it. But I was curious if you would, because that's being perfect for the RV business to keep from tearing up an RV.
Certainly. But as we know, an RV doesn't have a wheel well like your truck.
Right.
When that thing lets loose, it's a pretty violent situation.
The company,
We all know that, and I can't. That's how tires let loose.
there is a company in Chattanooga, Tennessee that has been putting that type of a liner in industrial and construction tires for years. It's been tried on some higher speed tires. The problem was heat. Okay, but now this may be something new, but the thing that's kept the manufacturers away from it has been heat. I know a product is made.
It's called Duracell. You get a chance to check into it tomorrow and see what's available.
Yes, sir.
When they order the tires from you for these RVs, do they ever tell you what are going on? Because when mine came out of the factory in 2013, I had E's on them. And out of the factory, I'm saying that they were probably maxed out E-rated tires, E-loaded.
I probably need to talk to Redwood about that, Ken, but I do know that over the years, I think probably that particular unit probably has G standard. I'm not sure.
It does now.
It does now.
Yeah.
We sell the RV manufacturers what they
ask for.
Exactly. Exactly.
How about another question, since I got your attention. I'm monitoring the heat on mine. Every time we stop, I'll take my infrared thermometer out there, I'll check the tires, I'll check the bearings, make sure nothing's elevated. Is there a standard temperature above ambient that these things should run at, or what's the maximum they should run at before you get really concerned?
That's a very good question. I really don't have any.
Because I checked my tire before it blew out about 15 minutes before we were at a rest area, and I checked it. The front of the two tires was 115 degrees. The back tire was 119 degrees. The ambient temperature was, I think, was 88 degrees. But I don't know where the window is too. Is it too hot? Is it?
That really is not my area of expertise. I apologize. I cannot be.
Okay.
Pretty good here,
But
No, I wasn't running good your marathons. I was running car lines.
Pretty blow up.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of my marathons.
yes, sir.
Two-part question. I iron my tires up, 110 pounds, 30 degrees outside. I'm in the middle of the United States and I head west. I'm getting up to 90 degrees outside. How much pressure could my tires elevate?
Those tires are designed to handle that situation. I don't have a similar to Ken's question. I don't have a specific range, but that is how that tire is designed to be. It
It's like
anticipates.
15%.
Again, I don't know a specific.
tire would be 15%.
15 to 20%. Yeah. Mine are inflated to 110. It's not unusual for mine to go over the high 120s before the day. Every now and then they'll creep into the 130.
That's really why I like to come to things like this. Is I tend to learn more things because you guys are out there. you know, you guys are out there. I mean, I sell a tire that I have a spec sheet on that says this, but you guys are out there and know the real world. I appreciate any information you give me.
We are leaders. A lot of
I'm working on the mic.
put a lot of emphasis on USA made tires. You talk about the China tires and USA tires and European.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about trailer tires, light truck tires. And so when you see a tire on the sidewall that says ST, special trailer, okay? There are no special trailer tires made in the United States, okay? The Goodyear Marathon ST 235-80R16 is made in a factory that I used to buy tires from. I've been in that factory, and I've seen that tire sitting there right beside the triangle tire that was right beside it. Same green tire, okay? Because of, and there's a lot of reasons why we quit making ST tires. ST tires are not the most glamorous tires, okay? I tell you that I sell 4,000 to 5,000 a day. It's a lot for us, but in the OEM automotive world, trailer tires are not a big deal. They're just a drop in the bucket, okay? The Goodyears of the world, the Michelins of the world, the Continentals of the world would rather buy those or sell those tires that go on my truck or my vehicle. They're twice as expensive as my trailer tires. So because of the unions and things, we quit making these trailer tires. So they are all made in China. I've been in these factories. The Westlake tire that we are putting on right now is made by the largest tire manufacturer in China. So when you hear China tires, they have actually, they are making very good tires. So I would not be, now I've bought some bad China tires, don't get me wrong, okay? So we choose very carefully our factory partners. I would say a few years ago, the RV industry, we as tire suppliers maybe didn't choose our factories as well as we do now. So as this industry has matured, I think you're seeing a lot better, we're buying better tires, is where I'm going with this, as opposed to 5 years ago. I mean, I'm a former owner of this business, and we sold it a few years ago, and I've stayed on. But I can tell you some of the tires that we used to buy were a little scary. Okay, don't quote me on that. those tires are all gone. They've all failed by now. Then you also then have light truck or medium truck tires. Okay, the Goodyear LRG, the LT 235-85R16, Goodyear G614. That is made in the U.S. Okay. When you get up into the 17.5, that is what I'm going to call a medium truck tire. Okay, so that does not have an ST or an LT. It just says 215-75R 17.5. Okay.
So the Westlake is an ST 235-85.
The Westlake is an ST.
Where the Goodyear is not. Goodyear's a light truck.
The Goodyear is still a light truck. Now,
Okay, the difference.
yes, Ron, and I will speak to that. That's a very good point. The Westlake tire that is actually right over there, that ST 235-85R16, load range G, 18 months ago was made as a light truck tire. Okay, so that was an LT 235-85R16. As a result of, and I'm not going to get political, our government a few years ago decided that they would put some tariffs on Chinese tires to save American jobs. Okay? To save American jobs, that there aren't any jobs to save in the ST tire. Okay? So what happened with that LT tire, it was made, Westlake now made it as an ST tire. It says trailer use only. Okay? it is now not subject to tariff, okay? If that tire would have stayed an LT tire, it would have cost me 50% more than it does, just overnight, okay? So that now is an ST tire, is designed for trailer use only, and so that is a very good question. It is now an ST tire.
So the speed rating on the tire has been downgraded, is that correct?
I would have to look,
Because all your ST tires are speed.
they now have speed. Okay, they didn't, ST tires didn't used to be speed. But, and I would have to speculate, but I would have to look at the cycle on that tire. That tire is now speed rated as an ST tire.
How do you tell what the speed rating is? How do you read it?
It will be on the side of the tire either as a letter, which then translates to an MPH, or it may be right on the sidewall of the tire as 75 miles per hour. So I can actually look at that and we can talk about it very soon.
You spoke earlier about a tire and rim association that had charts that we could check for air pressure and so on. Is that correct?
Yes.
Or is that a website we can go to?
It is not a website. It's actually a yearbook that they put out.
Okay.
That I have to pay $500 a year for. But it's,
I do have one of those yearbooks with me, so if you want to copy some pages out of it, I have.
I was just looking for information that we could give to other folks as we do
Sure.
rallies and stuff. Is there a place that we can go that we can send folks to that they can get some definitions as far as weight, ratings versus the tire pressure, kind of like Michelin does with their motorhome stuff?
there is, the Westlake Tire has a website that you could go to. If you have Goodyear tires, you can ask to go to the Goodyear website. But there should be that information on that website. Yes, sir.
What's the difference between a G-rated and an H-rated tire?
The G-rated tire is, an H-rated tire is the next step up. So the 17.5 tire is going to be an H-rated tire. Okay. Let's back up and talk about the G-rated tire. So a G-rated tire is a 16-inch tire. Okay. There is no H-rated 16-inch tire. So if you have 16-inch wheels on your unit, you can only go so high. You can go to that highest 16-inch tire. Now, I will tell you that the bolt pattern on that 16-inch wheel, you can put a 17.5 tire and wheel on it. Okay? It is the same bolt pattern. And there are people that in the aftermarket that would sell you a tire and wheel 17.5 H-rated tire that would fit that same bolt pattern. And actually, the diameter of that 17.5, and when I say 17.5, I'm talking about 17.5 inches, and that's the diameter of the wheel itself. That's the diameter of the hole inside that tire, okay? As opposed to a 16-inch tire, that's the diameter.
The rim size.
Exactly. And actually, because of the dimensions, the 17.5 actually has a smaller overall diameter than the 16%, because it's a little narrower tire.
You're talking about the footprint on the ground?
No, I'm talking about the overall diameter.
okay,
So,
the inside.
so you don't have to worry about wheel well clearance or that type of thing. I mean, don't quote me on that, you don't have to worry about it, but I do know that the 17.5 diameter of that assembled tire and wheel is actually smaller by
You know how much?
half an inch or something. I mean,
So you're not gonna drag the ground or anything?
no, it's, one's like 30.31, one's,
They're very similar.
yes, very similar.
And what about the load and I heard something about a strike, if you hit something in the road, it has a better chance of surviving
Well, the 17.5, you're now in what's called a medium truck tire. Okay, so this is, and the load capacity of an H-rated tire, a 215/75R 17.5, is 4,805 pounds. Okay, per tire. Yes. So that is what is standard on when when manufacturers use an 8,000 pound axle. What that says is we need at least 4,000 pounds on each side. Okay, so that H-rated tire at 4,805 is how we get at least 8,000 pounds. Okay, so depending on the manufacturer, that G-rated tire is either the Goodyear's 3,750 pounds. That Westlake is 4,080 pounds. Okay, and the reason there is because it's an ST. It's a special trailer tire. Trailer tires are designed to carry more weight than light truck tires. The Goodyear G614, that G-rated tire, was kind of it was a light truck tire, but it's really has been designed for trailers. So I'm throwing out a lot of numbers for you.
So if you ordered a Redwood with the 8,000 pound axles, they should have put an H-rated tire on.
Not if you don't tell them to.
Well, I'm learning it as I go.
Oh, should have.
And it's an expensive process. So, okay, you've answered my question. What about the strike capability?
Well, it's a lot more tire, that 17.5, and I can't really speak to the strike rate, but I would not argue with that.
Is there any downside to going with the larger tire?
Money.
Yeah.
Got to get new rims in addition to new tires.
Correct, right.
Is the ride the same? Does the inside of the coach, is it going to have the same ride as G-tire?
I would say so, yes. But yes, I mean, in that case, you're going to have to get new rims.
Do you sell just to businesses or do you sell to individuals?
No, we are strictly an OEM supplier. I'm going to leave my cards. I would always be glad to answer any question. My cell phone is on here. Again, a lot of times the tires are kind of a specific situation, so it's kind of hard for me to talk about general situations. I'd be happy to talk to any of you about it.
You said earlier that you sell and manufacture tires based on your freight. If you was going to buy a fifth-wheel trailer and you was designing it yourself, what tire would you get? After all these years, what's the best tire in your opinion that you would put in the trailer to get that work?
What I would probably want is the most load capacity that I could put on that. So if I'm not going to tell you that on a 7,000 pound axle I want X number of pounds, but I would probably want the most tire that I could put on, meaning the highest ply rating, the highest load capacity.
And then manufacture all the other
I would not have a concern about
Michelin, Goodyear, all the time.
I sell Goodyear tires, I sell Michelin tires, I sell Westlake tires, I sell brands that are lower than Westlake. I will tell you that the tire we're selling now, the Westlake tire, is the best tire coming out of Asia that I've seen in my years. And I kind of alluded to that of how the tires used to be when I owned them. I would not be afraid of those tires. But there are good tires coming out of China. There are medium, and there's factories that I would not. Okay. Anything else, guys?
Have you seen a lot less blowouts? I mean, do you get statistics on that since you changed to the Westlake?
We have our adjustment rate on that on Westlake tires in general. I sell a number of different sizes are less than 1/10 of 1%. We do all our own warranties, so we do track those numbers, and we definitely have seen not having.
Well, one of the things when we took on the Westlake, you Tim shared with us that you actually had the fewest recalls on the Westlake as a company, even over the three big names you just mentioned. Is that still accurate?
That is.
So Westlake, you've had fewer challenges, recalls, and even Goodyear tires.
Yes, I would say that. We have not had any recently.
None.
How long have you been selling?
Sorry?
How long have you been handling?
Westlake we've been selling for about 4 years. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Thank you. Appreciate your time.